Watch me ride.
Hey everybody, I've had a bit of an interesting night. I'm just going to give you a quick update if you don't know what's going on, because I don't know where in what videos I've explained. I'm still waiting for injections on my back 6 to 8 weeks from now. Don't know when that 6 to 8 weeks starts because I haven't actually been given the date, and they called me 2 weeks ago to tell me it was like, a week ago to say it was like 6 to 8 weeks, so I don't know what's going on with that. There is some good news though, which is I have been able to do a little bit more work and not need quite so much time to recover in the past week or so. I mean, it still gets pretty bad at times, but I've actually found that as long as I'm very careful, I can do a little bit more and not need quite so long to get back to not being in pain, which is great because it means I feel like I may be over the hump of the worst of it, and maybe the pills are starting to work now. I'm not taking my painkillers because I just don't like taking them, basically. And yeah, as I say, it seems like maybe things are starting to improve on their own a little bit, so hopefully, you know, things are going to go better and better from now. So it's great to actually feel better than I did last week, than always feeling worse than I did last week. That's been a really good morale boost. So that's just an update what's been going on. This happened last night and probably isn't related. It's probably a complete just one-off. This did happen to me once before now, about 10 years ago. Very similar circumstances, but basically, I was editing last night quite late, and then I got into bed. I think I was just about to go to sleep now, and then I was like, oh, I need a pee, so I went to the toilet. And as I'm leaving the bathroom, I don't know what happened, but I basically woke up on the floor and my face hurt. Took me a few seconds to realise I was on the floor, exactly where I was and what I'd been doing, and I was like, okay, so I've just passed out for some reason. I don't know what's going on here. And I kind of was like, okay, well, I have passed out like this before, once, about 10 years ago, and I just passed out and I came back round and I was fine. So I thought, you know, it'll be fine. So I got back into bed, and then about 10 minutes later, I started getting this really strange sensation through my middle of my chest. It was making me feel quite uneasy. And in the end, we called an ambulance. We said, look, is this something you need to come and look at? And they were like, yeah, we're coming to see you now. And they checked me over. They spent about half an hour or so here, maybe a bit longer. They put me through every test they could, blood sugars, blood pressure. They gave me a, I'm trying to hide personal details, if there is any to hide. They gave me an EKG, which basically said that my heart rate and everything was completely fine. I know I have a slow heart rate anyway, and it was at like 69 or something at that point. Yeah, 69 BPM. And they did, like, over its course of between, yeah, 3:30. Oh, actually, they were here longer than I realised. The primary they did, the first one they did at 3:30 in the morning, then they did one at 3:40, and then they did one at 3:59. And it showed my blood pressure being basically a bit low, but not out of the realms of normality. I'm known for having a bit lower blood pressure and quite a slow heart rate. I don't know why, I just seem to be very calm. And they basically said, look, it seems like you've had a thing called a vasovagal episode or something, which basically, they very rarely find out what the cause of it is. It can be stress, it can be tiredness, it could be a reaction to something, it could be all sorts of things, or it could just be nothing pretty much. And all it comes down to is your brain just says, I need a quick reset, and it just resets, and you hit the deck, get back up and carry on. Apparently one of the things you get after this is you can feel a bit confused and woozy, which I did, and you also can get like acid reflux and a bit of indigestion and stuff, and that's probably what that feeling I had in my chest was. Admittedly, I did make a mistake last night, but again, I don't think this has got anything to do with it, and the crew didn't think the same. I'm taking 60 milligrams of amitriptyline every night. I have 25 milligram pills, and I have, trying to hide all covers, 10 milligram pills. So normally I take 2 25s and 1 10. And 1 10, oh god. And unfortunately, last night I grabbed 25s and 25, so I ended up taking 75 milligrams rather than the 60 that I meant to take. But 15 milligrams of amitriptyline, and it being, you know, only 75 in total, I knew it would have had nothing to do with it, and they said, oh. But I don't think that's what's caused this, and they agree. They said, no, that's not enough. It takes a long time for that stuff to build up, and just taking an extra 15 milligrams, you know, you're not going to notice the difference, really, in one night. So although I did do that. That's probably not the reason. It's probably completely unrelated. Maybe I'm just a bit tired. Maybe I'm a bit stressed out with everything. I don't know. But yeah, it ended up me face planting. I think I face planted into my sister. Has her old saddle here for a horse because she needed to sell it at some point, but she hasn't done it. And it's got a numner. I don't know if you know what a numner is. It's a big thick blanket that goes over the horse's back, and then the saddle goes on that. I think that's called the numner. And that was over the top of the saddle, and I think I walked out the bathroom and face planted straight into that and then hit the deck. So that actually took a lot of the brunt off my face. I've got a bit of a sore bridge of my nose and my eyebrows a little bit raised. But I don't appear to be getting any bruises or anything, so I don't think I'm going to get a black eye. But yeah, it is what it is. What a strange episode. As I say, they gave me the option. They said, look, you can either go to the hospital, get checked over a bit more, probably end up being there for a few hours and then coming home, or you can stay here if you're happy to and just, you know, sleep and rest and see how it goes and call the doctors in the morning. And I said, look, I'll just stay here. I'm fine with that, because he didn't want to tell me not to go to the hospital, but he was being, because I understand these things, and he was like, he realised I wasn't an idiot and I wasn't panicking or anything, and he said just you know, see how you go. I think you'll be fine. These things rarely have an explanation. Everything we've seen here from the EKG, like 12-point EKG and all that, ECG, EKG, I can't remember what it is. Basically, you know, I think you're fine. You're young. You'll be alright. And I'm like, cool, that's fine. So I went back to bed. And yeah, I woke up this morning feeling a little bit funny, but I'm alright. I'm with it. I'm just not going to do anything today. I made this video, but this is just sitting down for a bit. And then I'll get on with keychains and stuff. But today I'm not going to ride bikes. Well, actually, I'm not going to ride bikes for a few days. The LXR is literally, just before I made this video, gone back home. So my spine is going to thank me for that until I get back on DIVI, which is super comfy compared to it. And yeah, it's just one of those weird things. I have a right bouffon going on, don't I? Gee, how did I only forget about that? One really weird thing, actually, that did come up through this was that I was sat there last night after we'd done everything, and they were taking all the leads off me, and I just looked at this guy and was like, I had a flashback to being in the back of an ambulance and someone cutting my trousers off me. And I was like, I know you! I know you! Why do have you been working, like, for the past 5, 6, 7 years or like that? And he went, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure you saw me at my bike crash. And he went, oh, I don't know. Sort of saying, you know, there's loads of them. I was like, yeah, it's true, actually. You probably do see so many people that you're never going to remember any individual circumstances. And then he suddenly looked at me and went, what bike was it? And I said, it was like a dirt bike, black. It was ripped in half, just down the road there. Old man. But he went, no, I do remember you. You went flying. And I was like, what? What? He says, yeah, you went away up the road when you crashed into that car. We were really quite concerned for you. Apparently, I was nearly flown to Oxford by helicopter. But in the end, they checked me over and then were like, no, it's okay, you can go by road. I think it's probably because I took such a hit to the head and I was really not with it at the time. I was like, I don't remember a lot of that night. I literally remember a couple of flashes from it, to be fair. And I think they were considering taking me because of possible head injuries. But what it turned out to be was just a really bad concussion. But yeah, super weird to just suddenly, like, while you sat there going like, what the hell's going on with me? Why have I just passed out and face planted into the side? And you're like, I had a flashback to a moment years ago that I didn't remember. It was only because I saw his face and I was just like, and I think it was his attitude as well, because I remember having a joke with him in the back of the ambulance, which I know a lot of ambulance drivers, you know, humour is the best way to get people through stuff. But yeah, it was a bit of a mind screw to be like, that's him. And I was really glad, actually, because it meant I was able to thank him for that night. I said, thank you very much for tonight, and thank you for helping me in the past. If I was able to do it at the time, I would have done. So, yeah, it's kind of a weird night. Probably not related to anything. Anyway, so I have videos that have been recorded before this, I think, and you'll see those soon. There may be a bit of a delay. I'm going to give it a couple of days before I get back on a bike, because that's just going to be a sensible thing to do. Jumping on a bike today would not be a good idea. I'll see how I am over tonight, and if I don't have any problems by tomorrow, then I'll consider it again. Just going to be careful. There we go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. If you enjoyed this video and the other content on the channel, please consider following the links in the description to show your support.